Clean lines, perfect tailoring, cream, camel, navy, black, no logos, no flash, no visible branding, just wealth. Quiet, confident, undeniable wealth. This is quiet luxury. And if you've been on social media in the last 2 years, you've seen it everywhere. TikTok tutorials teaching you how to achieve it. Instagram influencers breaking down the old money aesthetic, Pinterest boards titled Stealth Wealth, the brands, the Row, Loro Piana, Brunello Cucinelli, Zegna, Bottega Veneta's New Direction. Names you might not know, but the wealthy definitely do. The philosophy, real wealth doesn't need to announce itself. Logos are for people who need to prove something. True luxury is understated, elegant, effortless. The promise, dress like this, and you'll project confidence, taste, sophistication. You'll look like someone who belongs in the room where it happens. Someone with generational wealth and impeccable breeding. It's beautiful, genuinely beautiful. The aesthetic is refined, timeless, elegant in a way that logo-covered clothing never quite achieves. But what if I told you that achieving this simple, effortless look costs $50,000 minimum? That a plain white t-shirt from the Row costs $350? That those basic loafers are $1,000? What if I told you that quiet luxury is more expensive than the flashy logos it supposedly replaced? That it's deliberately designed to be exclusive, to separate us from them, to keep out anyone who doesn't already belong? What if I told you that quiet luxury is one of the most insidious forms of class warfare happening right now? A way for the ultra-wealthy to signal to each other while remaining invisible to everyone else? Welcome to the dark truth about quiet luxury, where effortless costs a fortune, where simple is a lie, and where tasteful is just another word for exclusion. Let's talk about how we got here, because quiet luxury didn't come out of nowhere. It came out of a very specific cultural moment. The Succession effect. HBO Succession didn't just become a cultural phenomenon, it became a style guide. The show's costume designer, Michelle Matland, dressed the Roy family in quiet luxury brands almost exclusively. Shiv Roy became a style icon. Her wardrobe, the Row, Loro Piana, Brunello Cucinelli, Max Mara. Pieces that cost thousands but look simple. Outfits that cost $15,000 but appear understated. The internet went crazy. Get the Succession look. Shiv Roy's quiet luxury. How to dress like you own a media empire. The irony. Succession is a brutal critique of wealth and power. But viewers watched the show about how money corrupts and thought, I want those clothes. Gwyneth's $25,000 courtroom wardrobe. Then came Gwyneth Paltrow's ski collision trial in early 2023. She was being sued for $300,000 pocket change for her. But what made headlines was her wardrobe. Day 1, the Row jacket, $4,200. Prada boots, $3,000. Day 2, brown leather boots from Celine, $500. Vintage clothes sunglasses. Day 3, a cream cardigan that sparked 1,000 where-to-buy articles. Total courtroom wardrobe estimate, $25,000. For 8 days in court for a trial about an alleged ski accident. But here's what made it genius. She wasn't trying to look rich. She was trying to look like someone for whom being rich is so normal, so effortless, that even court is just another Tuesday. The internet exploded. Quiet luxury queen, Gwyneth's courtroom style, how to look expensive in court. The trial became a fashion moment. The TikTok phenomenon. Then TikTok got hold of quiet luxury. The old money aesthetic became one of the platform's biggest trends. Millions of videos teaching people, mostly young, mostly without old money, how to look like they have generational wealth. How to look rich without logos, old money essentials you need, quiet luxury on a budget. The irony is almost painful. People without money teaching other people without money how to look like they have money. Videos showing affordable alternatives to the Row. Where to get Loro Piana vibes from Zara. How to achieve quiet luxury from H&M. And there's something deeply sad about it. Because quiet luxury is specifically designed so that these approximations don't work. The insiders will always know the difference. Celebrity adoption. Sophia Richie's wedding in the south of France became a quiet luxury showcase. Every look, the Row, Chanel, St. Laurent. Minimal, elegant, estimated cost over $100,000 for the wedding wardrobe alone. Hailey Bieber's street style shifted entirely to quiet luxury. The Row blazers, Kate jeans, Bottega boots, casual outfits costing $5,000 plus, and the Olsen twins who founded the Row in 2006 became the godmothers of quiet luxury. They built an empire on $5,000 sweaters and $15,000 coats. The backlash against logo mania. To understand why quiet luxury exploded, you need to understand what it replaced. The 2000s and 2010 seconds were the era of logo mania. Gucci belts with prominent double G buckles, Louis Vuitton monogram everything, Supreme box logos. Visible branding was the point. Luxury was loud. It was about showing everyone exactly what you could afford. The bigger the logo, the better. Fashion was a flex. But gradually, that started to feel tacky, try hard, desperate. The associations changed from aspirational to new money, from impressive to gauche. Loud luxury became associated with new money, people who earned their wealth, who had to prove it. Quiet luxury became associated with old money, people who inherited wealth, who had nothing to prove. The pendulum swung hard toward minimalism. Logos out, stealth wealth in. Why this moment? But why did quiet luxury explode, specifically in the 2020s? 3 reasons. 1. Economic anxiety. Post-pandemic, during inflation, with economic uncertainty, people felt precarious. Quiet luxury lets you signal stability while everyone else feels unstable. 2. Wealth inequality backlash. As wealth inequality became impossible to ignore, as eat the rich rhetoric intensified, billionaires needed camouflage. Quiet luxury lets the wealthy hide in plain sight. 3. Authenticity craving. After years of Instagram flexing and TikTok performativity, people were exhausted. Quiet luxury promised authenticity, substance over style. Spoiler, it's still performance, just for a different audience. The perfect cultural storm, a hit TV show, a viral trial, social media trends, economic anxiety, wealth inequality, and authenticity craving. Quiet luxury went from niche to mainstream. But here is what they do and tell you in those TikTok tutorials. The simple look costs more than you can possibly imagine. Let's talk numbers. Because this is where quiet luxury reveals its true nature. That simple outfit you're looking at, let's break it down. The Row, where simple costs a fortune. The Row, founded by Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen in 2006, has become the pinnacle of quiet luxury. Their philosophy: perfect basics, minimal design, maximum price. A plain white t-shirt, $250,350. It's cotton. It has no design. It's a white t-shirt that costs more than most people's weekly groceries. A simple cashmere sweater, $1,202,500. No pattern, no embellishment, just cashmere and a label hidden inside. Basic wool trousers, $1,201,800. Black or navy, straight leg, the kind of pants that look like pants. Leather loafers, $1,001,500. No logo visible, just leather and a sole. The Margot leather tote bag for $5,006,900. It's a rectangular leather bag, no hardware, no logo, nothing to distinguish it except a $6,000 price tag. Total for one simple outfit, $8,150,650. You could buy a used car. You could put a down payment on a house in some markets. Or you could buy one outfit that looks like you're wearing nothing special. Loro Piana, the if you know brand. Loro Piana is the ultimate insider brand. No visible branding except a tiny logo insiders recognize. Owned by LVMH since 2013. Famous for cashmere and Vicua, one of the world's most expensive natural fibers. Their baseball cap, a baseball cap, costs $650. It's cashmere. It has a tiny embroidered logo. Rich people wear it to signal to other rich people. The Summer Walk loafers, $725. These became the unofficial shoe of quiet luxury. Suede, minimal, comfortable. Every wealthy person from Nantucket to Monaco owns a pair. A plain cashmere sweater, $2,003,500. They have every color imaginable. All of them cost a month's rent. A Vicua coat, $25,050,000 plus. Vicua is fiber from a rare Andean animal, finer than cashmere. A Loro Piana Vicua coat is like wearing a car. A cashmere tracksuit, $5,000 plus. For lounging in cashmere. Because regular cotton isn't elevated enough. Brunello Cucinelli, expensive with a philosophy. Brunello Cucinelli markets itself as humanistic capitalism. They treat workers well, pay fair wages, create beautiful things. This is their justification for the prices. A simple cashmere cardigan, 25004,000, because it's made with love and humanism, and also because rich people will pay it. A plain button-up shirt, 600900, cotton, buttons, philosophy, suede sneakers, 8001-200. For casual Fridays, when casual means $1,000, build in a quiet luxury wardrobe. So let's say you want to actually dress in quiet luxury, not one outfit, a proper wardrobe. What does that cost? Minimum viable quiet luxury wardrobe, 5 basic tops, 1 5003 sweaters, 3 6007-500, 3 pairs of trousers, 3 6005, 4002 pairs of shoes, 2 0003-0001 coat, 3 0008-0001 bag, 4 5006-900 accessories, 2 0005-000 total, 20 2038-800 for a minimal wardrobe. A proper year-round wardrobe, 80 0001-000 plus. The comparison that reveals everything. Here's what's wild. Quiet luxury is more expensive than the logo luxury it replaced. Loud luxury, Gucci logo belt, 500, Louis Vuitton monogram bag, 200, Balenciaga logo hoodie, 800. Quiet luxury, plain leather belt, 800, unmarked leather bag, 600, plain cashmere hoodie, 500. You're paying more to look like you're not trying. You're paying a premium for the absence of logos. Why so expensive? The brands will tell you. 1. Materials, Vicua, cashmere, silk, finest leathers. This adds cost, but not that much cost. 2. Craftsmanship, Italian manufacturing, hand finishing, attention to detail. Again, adds cost, but doesn't explain a $6,000 basic tote. 3. Exclusivity, limited production, deliberate scarcity. 4. Brand positioning, the price is the point. The high price isn't just about covering costs and making profit. The high price is a feature, not a bug. It's how they keep out the wrong people. Think of it like a velvet rope at an exclusive club. The price is the barrier. And that's exactly what quiet luxury wants. Now we get to the dark heart of quiet luxury. This isn't just about expensive clothes. This is about class boundaries, social exclusion, and the gatekeeping of wealth. If you know, you know. The entire concept of quiet luxury is built on exclusion. The phrase itself, if you know, eek. The point is that some people know and others don't. To someone outside the system, a Loro Piana loafer looks like a beige suede shoe. A robe bag looks like a leather tote. A Brunello Cucinelli sweater looks like a sweater. But to someone inside the system, these items are immediately recognizable. The specific shade of suede, the particular shape of the bag, the drape of the knit. It's a code. It's like speaking Latin in medieval times. Only educated nobility could do it. It immediately separated you from the commoners. That's what quiet luxury does. It's the modern equivalent of speaking Latin. And this is the point. Quiet luxury exists specifically to separate us from them, rich from poor, old money from new money, insiders from outsiders. The taste hierarchy, here's how it works. There's a hierarchy of taste, and it maps perfectly onto class. Top tier, quiet luxury. Old money, tasteful, effortless, refined. Bottom tier, loud luxury. New money, tacky, trying to hard, gauche. But notice what's actually happening. This isn't about actual taste or aesthetics. This is about class markers dressed up as aesthetic judgments. Tacky, trying to hard, nouveau rich. These aren't fashion critiques. These are class slurs. What tacky means, you're not from our class. What trying to hard means, you don't belong here naturally. What nouveau rich means, your money is too new, to earn, too working class. Taste is how wealthy people justify keeping others out without saying the quiet part loud. It's not that we're excluding you based on class, you just have bad taste. The lie of effortless. Quiet luxury is marketed as effortless. Just throw on a simple sweater and jeans. Look naturally elegant. But effortless is the biggest lie of all. Achieving the quiet luxury look requires knowledge. You need to know which brands matter, which specific items are the ones, which seasons are relevant. This knowledge takes years to acquire or wealthy connections to teach you. Connections, some pieces aren't publicly sold. You need relationships with sales associates, access to trunk shows, invitations to private sales. Money, obviously. 80,001 to 0,000 for a wardrobe isn't pocket change except for the very wealthy. Time, building these relationships, acquiring this knowledge, curating the perfect wardrobe, it takes time. Years. Only people with leisure time can do this. The final result looks effortless, but it took enormous effort, resources, knowledge, and access to achieve. Effortless is only possible for people with all of those advantages. The uniform walk through any wealthy enclave, the Upper East Side, Kensington, Monaco, Nantucket, and you'll see it. Everyone is wearing the same thing. Loro Piana loafers, the Row blazers, Brunello Cucinelli sweaters, Hermes bags, the one loud luxury item still acceptable. It's a uniform. The irony is crushing. These people claim to reject fashion trends, to have personal style, to be above it all. But they're all wearing the exact same things. They're conforming as much as anyone else. They're following trends as much as fast fashion consumers. It's a costume, just one that costs $50,000. The cruelty of social media. Remember those TikTok tutorials? Quiet luxury on a budget, affordable old money aesthetic. They seem helpful, right? But they're actually cruel because they're teaching people to approximate something that's specifically designed so approximations don't work. You can buy the H&M version of a Row blazer. From a distance, it might look similar. But to anyone who knows anyone in the actual wealthy class, you are trying to signal to it is immediately obvious. The fabric is different. The cut is slightly off. The details aren't quite right. Insiders know instantly. And here's the thing, the point isn't looking rich. The point is being rich. The clothes are just the signal. You can't fake the signal without the underlying reality. Gatekeeping in action. This gatekeeping isn't just theoretical. It happens in real time in real stores. Walk into a Row or Loro Piana store dressed in the wrong way, even if you have money, and watch how you are treated. Sales associates size you up instantly. If you don't look the part, you're ignored. Or worse, followed suspiciously. People have documented this. Black customers treated with suspicion. Young people assumed to be wasting time. Anyone who doesn't fit the wealthy white aesthetic ignored or dismissed. You could have $50,000 cash in your pocket, but if you're wearing the wrong brands, the wrong style, if you don't know the secret handshake, you're treated like you don't belong. This is class gatekeeping in real time, in supposedly public stores, based on whether you look like you belong to the right class. So here's the uncomfortable question. Why do we want this? Why does quiet luxury appeal so much, even to people who can't afford it and never will? The old money fantasy. Americans especially are obsessed with old money. It's ironic, we're supposedly a democracy without aristocracy, but we're fascinated by generational wealth, inherited status, the idea of families who've been rich for centuries. Old money represents something we crave: stability, security, belonging somewhere, your place in the world being assured, not precarious. New money earned wealth feels precarious. You made it, you could lose it. You're one bad investment, one lawsuit, one economic crash away from losing it all. But old money feels permanent. Your great-grandfather was rich. Your grandfather was rich. Your parents were rich. You'll always be rich. It's in your blood, your name, your bones. Quiet luxury sells this fantasy. Dress like old money, and maybe you'll feel like old money. Maybe you'll feel that security, that belonging, that unquestionable place in the world. But of course, it's a lie. A $3,000 sweater doesn't give you generational wealth. It gives you debt. The exhaustion of performance. For the past decade plus, we've lived in an age of performative consumption. Instagram, TikTok, constant display of wealth and status. Every meal, every outfit, every experience documented and shared. Loud luxury fit perfectly into this. Gucci belt in every photo. Supreme drops. Designer shopping bags. Look at what I can afford. But it became exhausting. The constant flexing, the obvious trying, the need to always be on, always performing wealth. Quiet luxury promised an escape. I don't need to perform. I'm so secure in my wealth, I don't need to show it off. But here's the truth, it's still performance. You're still curating your appearance. You're still signaling wealth and status. You're just doing it for a different audience, other wealthy people instead of Instagram followers. Same dance, different music. You've just traded one form of performance for another. The smart money justification. Quiet luxury comes with a built-in justification that makes it feel virtuous instead of vain. These are investment pieces, quality over quantity, cost per wear makes it worth it. Buy once, buy right. The logic, a $2,000 cashmere sweater will last 20 years. That's $100 per year, cheaper than buying a new $50 sweater every year. Except the math is bullshit. You're not buying one $2,000 sweater. You're building a wardrobe of them. And you'll still want new pieces every season because fashion changes and your tastes change. But framing it as investment makes the expense feel smart, practical, virtuous. You're not being vain, you're being financially savvy. Except you're still spending $3,000 on a sweater. That's not an investment. That's consumption. The I'm better than you factor here's what quiet luxury really offers: the ability to feel superior to other wealthy people. Quiet luxury people see themselves as more sophisticated than logo-wearing luxury consumers. More tasteful, more refined, more intelligent about their spending. But both groups are doing the exact same thing, buying overpriced goods to signal social status. One group just gets to feel smug about it. You're both participating in luxury consumption. You're both signaling wealth and status. You're both buying into brand marketing. You just tell yourself a different story about it. The authenticity trap. Perhaps the most insidious appeal, quiet luxury promises authenticity. No logos means you're buying for you, not for status. You have genuine taste, not brand worship. You're authentic, not performative. Except the row is a brand. Loro Piana is a brand. Brunello Cucinelli is a brand. You're still brand chasing, just brands that pretend they're not brands. You're still signaling status just to other wealthy people instead of the masses. You're still performing, just performing a different character. The authentic person who doesn't care about brands or status is the most carefully constructed performance of all. The billionaire camouflage. Here is the darkest reason quiet luxury exploded now. Wealth inequality has reached extremes not seen since the Gilded Age. People are angry. Eat the rich isn't just a meme, it's genuine class consciousness. In this environment, flaunting wealth is dangerous. Politically, socially, even physically. Billionaires need camouflage. Quiet luxury provides that camouflage. Dress in quiet luxury, and you can walk through a city experiencing a homelessness crisis without anyone realizing you're wearing $40,000. Wear a Gucci logo belt, and people know you're rich, maybe resent you. Wear Loro Piana, and you're invisible to anyone not in your class. This isn't accidental. When the masses are angry about wealth inequality, the wealthy adapt. They don't stop being wealthy, they just stop advertising it to the wrong audience. So who wins from the quiet luxury trend? Let's follow the money. The brand's The Rose business model is genius from a profit perspective. Minimal design means lower design costs. Simple pieces mean faster production, but they charge luxury prices. A logo Gucci bag requires design, hardware, branding. A plain Row bag is leather and stitching. Similar production costs, but Row charges more because scarcity. And here's a delicious irony. Loro Piana, the ultimate anti-corporate quiet luxury brand, is owned by LVMH, the world's largest luxury conglomerate. The same company that owns Louis Vuitton, the brand that epitomizes logo luxury. LVMH is selling you the logo bags and the anti-logo bags. You can't escape them. They profit either way. The conglomerates, the major luxury conglomerates, Levham, Kering, Richemont, have been repositioning their brands to capture the quiet luxury market. Bottega Veneta, owned by Kering, completely rebranded. Out, the famous Intrecciato woven bags with visible branding. In minimal, logo-free pieces, quiet luxury. They're literally selling you the alternative to their other brands. Tired of Gucci logos? Try St. Lawrence minimalism, also Kering. Done with LV monogram? Try Loro Piana, also LVMH. You think you're rejecting corporate branding, but you're still buying from the same corporations. They've just repackaged the product. The ultra-wealthy benefit enormously from quiet luxury becoming mainstream. It lets them hide in plain sight while maintaining class boundaries. They can signal to each other those who know without advertising to everyone else those who don't. It's the perfect system, visible to the in-group, invisible to the out-group. They maintain their exclusive social networks without drawing attention or resentment from the masses. And it keeps out new money people who have recently become wealthy but don't have the knowledge, connections, or cultural capital to navigate quiet luxury properly. Old money stays on top. New money stays excluded. The hierarchy remains intact. The aspirational industry, then there's an entire industry built around teaching people quiet luxury, content creators making quiet luxury essentials videos, personal stylists charging thousands to build quiet luxury wardrobes, consultants teaching elevated basics. Everyone's making money from people's desire to look wealthy. The brands, the influencers, the consultants, the media covering it. Who doesn't benefit? Regular people who spend beyond their means trying to approximate the look, going into debt for investment pieces, believing the marketing that this will somehow elevate their lives. People who could never afford quiet luxury being sold tutorials on achieving it on a budget, wasting money on approximations that will never work. And of course, workers in the supply chain. Whether it's loud or quiet luxury, whether there's a logo or not, someone is being underpaid to make it. The exploitation doesn't disappear just because the branding does. Now let's stop dancing around it. Let's say the quiet part loud. Quiet luxury is class warfare. Taste as class boundary throughout history. Good taste has been defined by whoever holds power. In 18th century France, aristocratic taste. In Victorian England, upper class taste. Always, good taste equals what wealthy people like. And bad taste? That's always been what poor and working class people like. Loud, colorful, expressive, affordable. This is how elites maintain distinction without being explicit about class. They don't say, you can't join our social circles because you're poor. They say, you have bad taste. Quiet luxury is just the current iteration. It's the 2020s version of aristocrats speaking French at court while peasants spoke the vernacular. The new money insult. Think about this. Why is new money an insult? Someone worked hard, built a business, earned wealth, and that's somehow less legitimate than inheriting it. Because new money threatens established hierarchies. If anyone can become wealthy through work, then the old money families aren't special anymore. Their status isn't guaranteed. Quiet luxury is old money's revenge on social mobility. It's a way to say you can buy the bag, but you'll never have the taste, the breeding, the effortless elegance that comes with being born into our class. And the goalposts always move. Even if you learn the rules, by the time you do, the rules have changed. That's the point, to keep you chasing something you can never catch. The cruelty of aspiration here is where it gets truly cruel. The quiet luxury industry markets investment pieces to people who can't afford to invest. Elevate your wardrobe. Dress for the job you want. Investment dressing. These messages target people who aren't wealthy, promising that looking wealthy will make them wealthy. But it's a lie. A $3,000 sweater doesn't get you into the C-suite. It gets you into debt. Instagram influencers making affordable quiet luxury content are participating in this cruelty. They're teaching people to waste money approximating something designed to exclude them. Because you'll never actually achieve the look without the underlying wealth. The insiders will always know. The approximation will always be visible to those who matter in the system. The point is exclusion. The exclusion isn't a side effect. It's the entire point. Quiet luxury creates hierarchies even among wealthy people. Old money vs. new money. Tasteful vs. tacky. Sophisticated vs. trying too hard. It's a system where you can always feel superior to someone. Even if you're not the wealthiest, at least you have taste. At least you're not tacky. At least you know the difference between Loro Piana and, God forbid, Coach. The goal isn't beauty. It's not function. It's distinction, separation, hierarchy, exclusion. The slurs listen to the language of quiet luxury, tacky, trying too hard, gauche, nouveau rich. These aren't aesthetic critiques. These are class slurs. They exist to shame people for not knowing rules they were never taught. Rules that were deliberately kept hidden. Rules that change when too many people learn them. Rules designed to maintain boundaries. The effortless, privileged, quiet luxury people love to say they don't care about fashion. I just threw this on. I don't think about it. That outfit that you just threw on costs $15,000. You absolutely thought about it. You just have the privilege of pretending you didn't. Only people with enormous resources can afford to not care. The appearance of effortlessness requires effort, just effort you can pay other people to do. Personal shoppers selecting pieces, stylists curating wardrobes, tailors ensuring perfect fit. The effortless look requires a team of people working behind the scenes. The cultural specificity here is what's rarely discussed. Quiet luxury is overwhelmingly white. The aesthetic is based specifically on WASP and European old money culture. Black wealth is often expressed differently with color, pattern, cultural references. Asian wealth has different markers. Latin American wealth has different traditions. Quiet luxury as the standard erases all of these alternative expressions of wealth and success. It says there's only one tasteful way to be wealthy, and it looks like Connecticut prep school by way of Tuscany. It's not just classist. It's culturally specific classism. It privileges one particular cultural expression of wealth while denigrating all others as tacky or loud. Let's zoom out. What does the quiet luxury phenomenon tell us about where we are as a society? The timing isn't accidental. Quiet luxury exploded precisely as wealth inequality reached levels not seen since before the Great Depression. The gap between rich and poor is wider than it's been in a century. In this environment, ostentatious displays of wealth became dangerous. Eat the Rich went from joke to genuine political sentiment. Billionaires needed to become less visible. Quiet luxury is adaptive camouflage for capitalism. It lets the wealthy continue being wealthy without drawing the ire of an increasingly angry public. This isn't about taste or aesthetics. It's about survival. The wealthy adapting to an environment where flaunting wealth is politically and socially dangerous. The pendulum always swings. Luxury trends are cyclical. They always have been. 1,980 seconds, flashy logos, power dressing, conspicuous consumption 199 early 2000 seconds, minimalism, heroin chic, quiet luxury 1.0 mid to 000 to 010s, logo mania returns, maximalism, bling culture 2020 seconds, quiet luxury 2.0, the pendulum will swing again. It always does. In 5 to 10 years, we'll probably see a return to maximalism, logos, color, expression. Quiet luxury will feel dated. What's next? So what comes after quiet luxury? Once everyone knows about Loro Piana loafers, they stop being an insider signal. Once TikTok teaches quiet luxury, it's no longer quiet. The wealthy will need new signals, new brands, new aesthetics, new ways to distinguish themselves. The game continues, just with different rules. Maybe logos return as ironic or postmodern. Maybe sustainability becomes the new luxury signal. Maybe hyper-personalization and bespoke becomes the marker. But the system stays the same. There will always be luxury. There will always be status signaling. The clothing changes, but the game continues. The information paradox. Here's a paradox. Social media democratized knowledge of quiet luxury. TikTok taught millions about the Loro Piana, Brunello Cucinelli. But knowing about it doesn't mean you can access it. Information doesn't equal money. Now millions know exactly what they can afford. In a weird way, this makes quiet luxury more exclusive, not less. When it was obscure, you might not know you were excluded. Now everyone knows exactly what they're locked out of. Transparency without access is just frustration. You know the game. You can see the game. You just can't play. The generational shift. Gen Z's relationship with luxury is more complicated than previous generations. Some embrace maximalism, bringing back Y2K aesthetics, logo-heavy streetwear, bold expression. For them, quiet luxury feels boring, old, their parents' aesthetic. Others reject luxury consumption entirely. They're focused on sustainability, secondhand shopping, anti-consumerism. For them, any luxury, quiet or loud, is ethically indefensible. And many simply can't afford it and are exhausted by aspiration culture. They're opting out of the game entirely. Quiet luxury might be specifically a millennial and Gen X obsession. The cohorts who grew up with aspiration, who still believe in social climbing through consumption. The future might look very different, or it might be the same game with different aesthetics. So let's come back to where we started. That beautiful aesthetic, the clean lines, perfect tailoring, cream and camel, and understated elegance. The seduction was real. The aesthetic is beautiful. That's not the lie. The clothing genuinely is well made. The materials really are high quality. The design is refined and elegant. But that's not what you're really buying. What quiet luxury actually is, it's not about quality. You can get quality for less. It's not about investment. You're not making money. You're spending it. It's not about authenticity. It's performance for a different audience. It's not about taste. Taste is a social construct designed to enforce hierarchy. It's not about effortlessness. Effortlessness requires enormous resources and effort. It's about class, pure and simple, maintaining boundaries between rich and poor, between old money and new money, between insiders and outsiders. Those beautiful clothes are tools of exclusion. That's their primary function. Looking good is secondary to keeping people out. The false promise, the promise of quiet luxury. Buy these clothes and you'll project confidence, sophistication, belonging. You'll look like someone who belongs in elite spaces. The reality, you can't buy your way into a class. Not really. The clothes are just signals, and insiders can always tell the difference between authentic and aspirational. Quiet luxury is designed to keep you out. That's not a bug, it's the feature. The final irony, here's the final crushing irony. Even if you save up and buy the pieces, insiders will know you saved up. Real quiet luxury isn't about the clothes. It's about the generational wealth behind them, the trust fund, the family connections, the effortless confidence that comes from never having worried about money. You can buy the clothes, but you can't buy the childhood in private schools, the summers in Nantucket, the family name that opens doors, the network built over generations. The clothes are just the visible part of an invisible structure. Without the structure, the clothes are just expensive fabric. What do we do with this knowledge? So now you know. What do you do with this knowledge? Option 1, participate knowingly. If you can afford it and enjoy it, buy it. But be honest about what you're doing. You're not investing, you're consuming. You're not being authentic, you're signaling. Do it with eyes open. Option 2, reject it, refuse to play the signaling game. Buy what you actually need, what actually brings you joy, regardless of brand or status. Opt out entirely. Option 3, critique while participating, recognize the system for what it is, call out the classism and exclusion while still navigating the world that exists. You can acknowledge it's broken while living in it. There's no perfect answer. We all live under capitalism. We all navigate social hierarchies. Purity is impossible, but knowledge is power. Knowing what quiet luxury really is, what it's really doing, gives you the power to choose how you engage with it. The final question. In a world of historic wealth inequality, where billionaires have more wealth than they could spend in 1,000 lifetimes, where working people struggle to afford rent, what does it mean that the rich are getting better at hiding? Is quiet luxury a symptom of class consciousness among the wealthy? An adaptation to an environment where flaunting wealth is dangerous? And what happens to society when wealth becomes invisible? When we can't even see who has the power, who's making the decisions, who's hoarding the resources? That $6,000 bag isn't just a bag. It's a signal, a weapon, a tool of class warfare disguised as good taste. And the question you have to ask yourself is, what are you really buying when you buy into quiet luxury? Are you buying quality? Or are you buying the fantasy that expensive clothes can give you class, confidence, belonging, things that can't actually be purchased? The dark truth about quiet luxury is that it is designed to make you want something you can never truly have. And that's exactly the point.